Hello, my friends. I want to share two things with you. I hope you'll stick around and hear me out. The first is something that I learned. I had my suspicions about, but I saw it clear as day. And then the second is something that I experienced recently, which has brought me a lot of peace that I also hope you'll stick around to listen to. In my cancer journey, I've learned that the medical system is not what I hoped it would be. Every turn something happens that has me lose some trust. So I'm somewhat vocal about, well, very vocal about alternative therapies that may or may not work, but we should have the right to try, especially when you have a diagnosis that is incurable. And the options for treatment are all options that will make you feel worse. So I would get comments either like verbally in front of me face to face or in comments on my channel that different levels of ridicule, um, from conspiracy theory, like, okay, you're nuts to think that something other than convention is your best shot, to well, you just gotta follow the science because that's the best we have. And the comments are typically something like, well, don't you think that if there was something better, the hospitals, the FDA, the doctors would know about it and it would be in our hands? Like, the best thing we have is in our hands. And so I had my suspicions that no, that's not true for many different reasons. But I came across this article that I want to share with you. It's 3 years old, but I still think it's relevant. It's from CNBC. It's not like some obscure thing, okay? You can look it up yourself. I'll leave the link in the description. Goldman Sachs, which is a $1 trillion organization that funds biotech research companies, said, is curing patients a sustainable business model? Okay, they just came right out and said it. They're not trying to hide anything. And they're essentially saying that if you find a cure, or one-shot cures are not going to be financially profitable. Goldman Sachs analysts attempted to address a touchy subject for biotech companies, especially those involved in the pioneering of gene therapy treatments. Cures could be bad for business in the long run. They even talk about, at the end, some solutions for what to do with this. And one of the solutions is literally what we do with technology, with cell phones. You know how every year or every 2 years there's a new model, or they change the plug so it doesn't work with the old one anymore, or they upgrade it just a little bit. So they, instead of releasing a great phone, they slowly work toward it little by little. So you spend your money each way, along the way. That's what they're suggesting as a solution: constant innovation and portfolio expansion to offset the declining revenue. Guys, I'm not making this up. And for some of you, you'll be like, yeah, I've known about this forever. And for others of you, you'll think, oh my goodness, this is terrible. I will leave the link so you can read the rest below. Anyway, I don't trust that the whole big medical industry has my best interests at heart. Maybe as a whole, they have most people's best interests at heart, but they're not specifically looking to cure me. And with the diagnosis that I have, I need to look out for myself. I need to be my own advocate. Nobody else is doing it for me. So no, I don't think that if we had a cure, it would be in the hands of the doctors. It would be approved by the FDA. I mean, come on. The FDA has marijuana still listed as a Schedule I drug with no medicinal benefits. No, the FDA does not have our best interests at heart, at least not on a specific level, maybe globally. And even that, I don't know. I don't know. So okay, that was the first thing I just wanted to vent about a little bit. I'm sure many of you won't agree. I know I've met many people on my journey that are like, no, if my oncologist doesn't agree, then I'm not going to do it. That's fine. I don't want to change your mind. at all. I want you to do what brings you the most peace. And that brings me to the second thing I want to share. I had a really cool, I need to pull up some notes so that I stay a little more focused. I had a really cool experience the other day spiritually. I've always had a tough time making medical decisions. And when I went to my doctor last time, we were talking about what next steps to take because I tried letrozole and Kisqali and I was having constant migraines, and that just was not gonna, that's no quality of life. I stopped that and waited till I started feeling better and went back to see him to see what he thought. And he recommended fulvestrant, which has a similar side effect profile, fulvestrant, and then adding a CDK4/6 inhibitor if the fulvestrant went well. Once you take the medication, you're in it for until it wears off, maybe a month and a half or so. I was kind of hesitating trying that treatment because I don't want to be in full-time migraines for the next month and a half. I'm sure you know it's always challenging to make a decision when all of the options seem crummy and when you just don't know what is going to happen when you make that decision. And it's a big decision to you. And all of these medical decisions have been really tough for me. And the toughest part has been that I haven't felt peace about it. I know many people that I've talked to that are on their own cancer journeys are really clear. They're, without skipping a beat, they'll say, oh yeah, I'll do whatever it takes. Throw everything at it. But that has never been me. I've never felt that way. I was, again, last week faced with this decision, fulvestrant or something else or nothing. And I didn't know, I wasn't feeling peace about anything. And so I started the day off and I set an intention. I set the intention that I would receive a clear message about my next steps having to do with the treatment option. And I went about my day and I start my day off with prayer and meditation. And that was great. It was lovely. It was beautiful. I went about my day. And then a couple of hours later, all of a sudden, I knew my answer. And this does not happen to me regularly. I'm always like, God, please, I just want to know. I just want to feel secure. But I don't usually get a clear answer. And it wasn't audible. It also wasn't a voice in my head. And it wasn't me talking to myself. It was just a feeling. And the feeling was very clear. And it was a feeling of peace. And that wasn't the answer yet. But when this feeling of peace came over me, I thought, this is what I want in my life. I want this peace. I don't care if I'm rich or poor. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I don't care if I'm living or I'm dying. I don't care if I'm respected or disrespected and ridiculed. I just want to feel this peace. And then it kind of unfolded. Okay, you want to feel this peace. Good. That's a great benchmark. Do you feel that peace with the different options? Then I thought, no, okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's go into that place of peace and look around and see what's there. And so I went back into a meditative state and I visualized this peace and I looked around, and it was very clear to me that I did not see fulvestrant or Kisqali in that place of peace. It was also clear to me that when I think about those drugs, they vibrate at a much lower level than peace. And so they can't reside with my peace. At least for now, I am not at peace when I think about those drugs. That made the decision really clear for me, and I felt very confident. I don't often feel confident about making decisions, and I waffle back and forth. And this whole week has been really beautiful, and I've been able to be at a place of peace that for now, I am not doing that. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying that I'm never doing that. I'm just saying that right now that is not aligning with my peace. Ugh, wow, this is going to have so many edits. One day, tomorrow, next week, next month, who knows? We'll see how things develop. I might feel very at peace about being on those drugs, but right now I don't. So I'm not on those drugs. Anyway, I hope that that helps somebody make a decision out there. My offer to you, if you're looking to make a decision, is to see what you value most and then see of the different options, are any of those in that same vibration of what you value most? And as always, this is not medical advice. I am not suggesting you make the same decisions that I make. And I love you, and I hope you're doing well.